and to get arrested for it. That's crazy, Vis. You guys, you have no concept of criminal concepts. You have no criminal.
Am I being detained?
Get on the ground, James.
Detained.
Let
Am
me
I
add
being
a
detained?
subject stop.
Am I being
425
detained?
Willow, white male.
Help!
Cops have a duty to protect citizens and uphold the law. But what happens when they are the ones who break it? Here are times when intelligent suspects overpowered corrupt cops after they crossed the line.
Right. Well, you're not gonna get. Hey, what about my stuff?
We'll get it later.
You're not.
On January 22nd, 2022, a Natchitoches librarian, clearly shaken, dialed 911 to report a suspicious person in the library. But instead of handling the situation with care, the arriving officers saw it as the perfect stage to flex their authority. Without hesitation, they began a search, turning the quiet library into their personal power play. Little did they know, their actions would soon spiral into something far more troubling.
Yeah, he's being really weird. He tried to go up to the 3rd floor. He checked our emergency exits and stuff. Like, he's being real weird.
Okay.
He is in the building.
3rd floor. Let's go see about him.
Oh, 2nd floor.
2nd floor? Okay.
And he'll be back by the magazine. So if you walk to the back, you'll see where he is.
Second time coming in here. Pretty building. Hello. What's going on? Hey. Second floor.
After a few minutes of scoring the library, the officers finally confronted the so-called suspect, claiming they had received a report of his suspicious behavior. But when the man calmly asked for an explanation, Officer Davis decided he didn't owe him one. That split-second decision, abuse of authority, marked the turning point. From that moment on, everything seemed to unravel, and what followed would expose just how far things could spiral out of control.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a report that someone matching your description was kind of acting suspiciously.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
All right. What was the exact suspicious nature of the? What was the exact complaint? Because I mean, suspicious is pretty broad.
Just that's what the report we got, man. Matching
And
your
who's
description.
called?
I'm not
The
sure.
librarians. Looked like I was watching you guys. So I think you were talking to maybe a librarian.
Okay. What's your name, boss?
What's that have to do with anything?
Get your hand out of there.
Oh, sorry. Just. So we got Favors, Favor.
23. Where you at?
All right. And what's your name?
Officer Davis, badge number 143.
Davis? Okay. Yeah, I just came in, I mean, to use the library and all that, so, I mean, is it
Again.
unusual that people use a library?
No.
I mean, I got Miller, 3 cops, all right.
The man, later identified as Travis, attempted to assert his constitutional rights, a move that, to these officers, was apparently suspicious in itself. To them, it wasn't a sign of knowledge or dignity, but proof that Travis must be hiding something. for cops detached from reality. This was all the justification they needed to escalate the situation. What followed wasn't just unnecessary, it was the kind of chaos that only comes from unchecked authority.
Well, nice to meet you all. Sorry you got called on me.
Okay.
I mean, what was the exact suspicion? I mean, what I did is I came in, I walked around, looked around, and never been here before.
Okay.
And then I
Where are you from?
decided
Well,
on the spot.
stop. You haven't answered my question. What is your name?
Well, what's the crime? That's what we have to establish.
We have a report of a suspicious person matching
Okay.
you,
All right.
meaning that we have a reason to talk to you.
All right,
And right now
why-
I'm asking you what your name is, and if you don't
Okay.
provide me with some sort of identification,
Yeah.
that is resisting an officer.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So
I'm gonna ask you one more time.
How are you going to go above my constitutional protections on this? Because there's no crime.
So that's how we're gonna do this, okay? I want to know the name, please,
Officer, is that sergeant? Or, is there any sergeant?
Sir, what is your name?
Hold on.
Hold on.
There's no crime.
Okay. How about suspicious person?
All right.
You'll fit in that description, okay?
Yeah.
That's fine with me. You being recorded too, but you'll fit in that description.
You guys
okay?
never give me your recording, so I get my own.
Well, it's a public record, so you can get it.
No, every time
So
I've
like I
asked other
said,
cops, they
I'm
never
also
give
the
me
Mays
your.
Police Department. You got called
your
about a
videos.
suspicious person. You're matching that identity.
Yeah,
You're
the
matching
green-
the closing description.
Green
What is your
sweater.
name?
There's no crime.
Okay.
Okay, let me set this down.
Can you believe these cops arrested Travis just for standing up for his constitutional rights and they genuinely believed they had done nothing wrong? That level of arrogance and detachment from reality is the most unsettling part. And if you think this would mark the end of their antics, think again. These officers seem to have a knack for making every situation worse, proving they prefer chaos over common sense.
Right. Well, you're not going to get. Hey, what about my stuff?
We'll get it later.
You're not. All right, I have constitutional protections.
Yes, you do.
So, you guys have not. You guys are violating the Constitution. You can't get past the constitutional protections on the suspicion charge. Is that the charge
All right.
we're getting? You're going to charge me with suspicion. You know what crime
Nope.
it is? Is that a felony or a misdemeanor? All right. Do you even know what criminal? Did you even take any criminal courses? You don't know what a crime is.
Yeah, have a good day.
You don't know what a crime is. I guess you guys are here to learn. I mean, that's what you're all about here. You're coming in with no experience of crime, and you're here to learn the hard way. You're not making your career very. You're not going to have a good career here by doing this, by arresting me over a non-criminal issue. All right. Hey, what's your name again?
The same officer who arrested Travis for not giving his name seemed to have no problem ignoring his duty to identify himself. It's almost as if the rules only apply one way. And when cops like these feel outsmarted, their behavior tends to shift for the worse. This officer's aggression was just the beginning, and what followed would show how far he was willing to go to cling to control.
I already told you my name.
Who's?
Hey, I'm going to say this one more time. I'm going to say that. Hey, listen, I'm going to say this.
Davis, right?
I'm going to say this one time.
Well, you got your name
Stop
covered up.
pushing me. Stop resisting me, okay?
All right.
You're pushing against me as I'm trying to walk you forward.
Okay, let's go forward then.
Stop.
Davis?
Stop.
Is it Davis? I forgot. I
Come on.
can't see it. And I'm going to have to get familiar with you guys now, apparently, if you're going to make some charges against me. Davis?
Do you have anything in your pockets I need to know about?
What's your
Knives,
name?
guns, bullets.
Davis?
Do you have anything in your pockets I need to know about
your
it?
name. Tell me your name. Is it Davis?
Spread your feet. Do you have anything on you I need to know
What?
about? Knives, guns,
Tell
needles,
me
anything
your
like
name,
that?
please.
I've already
What's
done
your
that.
name? I need your name. I need to get to know who you are. We're gonna get familiar with each other, apparently. Really familiar with each other. Wow. I see a VIS, alright, I can work with that.
Not only did this officer arrest poor Travis without cause, but he also decided to make matters worse by conducting an illegal search without a warrant. It was a blatant abuse of power, but he didn't stop there. As if that wasn't enough, this cop began pushing boundaries even further, going to shocking extremes just to punish Travis for daring to stand up for himself.
All over for non-crime. You got nothing. This. Come to use the library and to get arrested for it. That's crazy, this. You guys, you have no concept of criminal concepts. You have no criminal. You had no experience in crime at all.
Take your shoe off.
Take my shoe off. Okay.
Take your shoe off.
It feels like you're kicking it, so.
Take your other shoe off.
Okay.
The officer's request for Travis grew increasingly bizarre, almost as if he were testing how far Travis would comply. It seemed like a calculated move, issuing strange orders, hoping Travis would refuse, just so he could accuse him of resisting. But here's the thing, the law doesn't work that way, and this officer was about to learn that the hard way.
I haven't looked at my bag yet.
This and Miller. Okay, Miller and this. We're gonna be familiar with each other, I guess.
Well, I'm not familiar with you because
I'm not familiar. I'm trying to get familiar with this.
No.
This and Miller. This and Miller. I can only read GIS and he won't tell me his name.
I already told you my name, but you were too busy talking to hear it. Is there anything on? Again, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Is there anything on your person I need to know about? Because if I find something when you get back to the station, you're gonna get charged with a felony. Do you understand me?
What's your full name?
I've already told you my name.
Okay, let's not. Why are we going in circles with your name? It's just a simple name. Miller and this.
All right.
What's your name, Viss? I mean, it's simple. I'm just trying to do a basic question. Just your name, and you can't even answer that.
These cops weren't upset by anything Travis did, they were bothered by who he was, an intelligent suspect who knew the law better than they did, and wasn't afraid to stand his ground. Instead of upholding the law, they acted as though they were above it, doing anything they could to overpower Travis. But their unprofessionalism didn't stop there. It was about to reach new and shocking heights.
I'm glad to see my stuff here. All right.
So great. Yes, it's awesome. It's
At least
amazing.
you didn't leave it in the library. That was making me nervous. Just walk away from my stuff like that. Miller and this. And Favors, that's right. Oh!
Wait, hold on. Take a look in that before you put it in there.
Favors, Miller, and this. Favors.
You ain't got to
Miller,
dig around. Just look.
Favors, Miller, and this.
Anything immediate?
Favors, Miller, and Miller. Ooh, get that.
Absolutely. Let me see. Or actually, get at the TJ.
Oh, look at that. Wow. Yeah, you got a crime there. You guys are great detectives. Favors, Miller, and this.
Yep. Okay. How you doing, Mr. Claiborne? It's nice to meet you. All right. Go ahead and close that up.
Next came the transport to the police station, a chance for the officers to continue their display of authority. Even during the ride, they bombarded Travis with more bizarre requests, seemingly to test his patience. But once they arrived at the station, the stakes shifted. Now on their own turf, the officers felt emboldened. The situation was poised to escalate even further.
This is the city. This is the city police department.
We'll get to the. I'm being charged by the city or is it district?
Doesn't matter.
No, it's
Step
a
out.
city. Is it a city prosecutor?
Step out of the car.
Is it a city prosecutor or a district prosecutor? Do you know the difference?
No, I don't
City
know the difference.
is a city prosecutor charging me?
I
got my hat in there.
We'll get it. Put your shoes on.
All right. Do you work with a city prosecutor? Do you know their name? Viss.
His name is Billy Joe Harrington.
Billy Joe Harrington. Wow, you left that tissue. The tissue stayed right on the back there. Pretty good.
Stay facing that way.
All right. You got burnt up. Somebody smuggled in some lighter.
At the station, the officer's behavior spiraled out of control, a chaotic display of arrogance that made it clear they believed they were untouchable. They acted as though the law didn't apply to them, yet, ironically, they still managed to do everything wrong. Then, in a strange twist, one officer stepped in to read Travis's Miranda rights, as if suddenly trying to play by the rules.
Leave that hand in the small of your back.
Small? Okay.
Take a seat.
All right. Favors and gifts. So you're gonna get them charges? How many charges am I looking at? You said one felony. You guys are shooting high for that.
Alright. I'm gonna use your Miranda rights.
Can I get some
I have to
water?
read you your Miranda rights before we do anything, okay?
For water?
I have to read you your Miranda rights before we do anything.
What? All right.
Because that's constitutional, right?
Well, for the criminal, for a criminal charge? What
You
are
have the
charges?
right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish one.
Perhaps the officer thought reading the Miranda rights would restore some semblance of legality, but by then, it was far too late. The damage was already done, and the officers had revealed their true colors. Any pretense of following the law quickly dissolved as Officer Davis and Officer Favors picked up where Officer Miller left off, escalating the situation even further.
You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of these rights I have explained to you?
Yes.
Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now?
About what?
Well, why there was porn on your
What
laptop?
evidence do you have?
Why are you in the library? Why you were walking around? Because that.
Yeah, I was walking around.
Okay, well, hold on. We're not talking about it. I'm asking, do you want to talk about it?
What do you want to talk about?
I literally just explained it to you.
Davis?
Having these rights in mind.
Can I
you
get
wish
some water?
So, are you not gonna let me finish it?
Finish what?
Okay.
No, bathroom?
Tools, maybe. Pens.
Officer Davis and Officer Favors rummaged through Travis's belongings with a sense of desperation, clearly hoping to stumble upon something that could retroactively justify Officer Miller's baseless arrest. It's almost laughable, isn't it? They should have had a valid reason before the arrest, not trying to fabricate one after the fact. So, what do you think? Did these officers uncover anything suspicious in Travis's belongings, or was this just another futile attempt to cover their tracks?
Camera's still recording. Daily Roamer YouTube? Interesting.
Hill Street, 100 Hill Street, representative 62A. Area action, 96 on the
Huh? Yep, I knew it. I think he's a YouTuber. Yes, because he has multiple things recording. Or had multiple things recording, I guess.
As if violating Travis's privacy once wasn't enough, Officer Davis and Officer Favors took things even further, crossing yet another line. It quickly became clear that their actions had little to do with any real investigation or search. Instead, their behavior seemed driven by something far more personal, a need to feed their egos and justify their own insecurities.
It's a cell phone. It's a camera. Is that a...
Very close. Listen very close. 100. 100. What?
What the officers did, like playing the recorder they found in Travis's backpack, was a blatant overstep. No one gave them the right to invade his privacy like that, but these officers weren't interested in boundaries or rules. They were too busy stacking mistake after mistake. And it didn't take long before they went even further, showing once again there was no limit to how far they would go to assert their control.
It is something. Maybe it's the way of the bag.
That's the way of the bag. That's that plastic piece. Alright. Let's put everything back. Wait, hold on. Leave. You put all this stuff back in the bag. Okay, before you do anything else. I'll spread out your cash so they can't say that something wasn't there. That's all the cash is. Video, make sure you get a video of everything.
The officers wasted time on trivial, unnecessary actions like meticulously counting the money Travis had. If you're wondering what they hoped to achieve or what it was supposed to prove, you're not alone. Chances are they didn't know either. But that didn't stop them from continuing with these senseless distractions, making their so-called search even more absurd.
That's it. Leave the laptop, the phone, and the 2 cameras and the recording device out.
When it came time to transport Travis to prison, the officers' frustration was palpable. Their discomfort wasn't because of anything Travis had done, but because their search turned up nothing to justify their actions. With no evidence to back them up, their irritation transformed to outright hostility. Their hatred for Travis reached a whole new level, setting the stage for even more vindictive behavior.
How far away is it?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure how far the jail is?
I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on distance. Okay. So, turn around, face that way. Okay, bring it back.
Did you figure out the charges?
You checked, yeah, but we're not talking, okay?
No. Well, I mean, I gotta find out at some point. When do I find out my charges? Jail's gonna be told. Right?
Come on.
Jail's gonna be told. Well, where's my stuff? Is it in the car that's transporting me? Is my stuff gonna be in the car? Davis? You don't even want to talk about that?
Lean against the door.
Me?
Yeah. There we go.
One of the officers tasked with transporting Travis to jail made a weak attempt to appear considerate, as if trying to soften the blow of their actions. But after everything they had put him through, starting with targeting him for simply being in the library, it's hard to see this as anything but sheer hypocrisy. A hollow gesture like that doesn't erase the blatant abuse of power Travis endured, does it?
Yeah, it's just easier that way. Alright, come on.
How long have you been working here?
Take a seat.
A couple of years?
Watch your head, watch your head.
Are you
Watch your head. Yeah. Slide in there as best you can.
Are you recording this?
There you go, buddy. Alright. Hey, you got his hat, right? Okay.
All this has got to be brought before grand jury.
125 headquarters.
Point.
For a brief moment, this officer tried to play the part of a friendly cop as if kindness could somehow undo the damage already done. But predictably, this facade didn't last long. It wasn't long before Travis was reminded of the harsh reality. In situations like these, the concept of a good cop is nothing more than illusion.
Would you like a seatbelt, sir?
I mean, for safety, I think it's probably.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Sit straight in the seat. Sit straight in the seat.
Sit straight?
Yeah. Hey, hop out for me real quick. Hop out that way. Open that side. I'm gonna hand you the seat belt. Try to hit the buckle if you can. Okay. Got it? Yeah. Dope. Alrighty. There is air conditioning flowing right now. There's air conditioning flowing right now.
So you're going to go before the jury. Say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I got this.
At one point, Travis, perhaps out of sheer hope, decided to trust the officer transporting him to prison. From the back seat, he began explaining his side of the story, believing for a moment that this policeman might actually care. But that brief flicker of trust turned out to be his only mistake. The officer quickly dismissed him, ignoring his words entirely.
This is an illegal arrest. Right? Fourth Amendment violation. So you can't even get to the jury. This is all going to be.
Oh, it's gonna be cold, real cold next week.
I think it's gonna be cold.
Yeah, I know.
Arresting. Like me, I guess you got some trouble.
I hope it does. I hope it does snow. I actually like the snow.
Oh, yeah, it won't be as bad.
The ice storm last year was not.
Last year.
Article 123, contact to 2019 Audi, gray in color, plastic clear, or you call for walk?
You've obviously violated my rights. I mean, arresting me based on suspicion
Yeah.
over ID, that's a Fourth Amendment argument right there.
Yeah, the snowstorm last year was not fun to work in. We were running code.
Travis kept speaking from the backseat, passionately talking about the law, constitutional rights, and everything else that came to mind. Little did he know, his words wouldn't faze the officer in the slightest. If anything, it seemed to fuel the officer's indifference, laying the groundwork for even greater acts of dismissal. For someone like this cop, authority meant ignoring anything that didn't serve his narrative.
I've been acting within the boundaries of my constitutional protections, and you overstepped them. This is all just a matter of law, and
Where's the
if
124?
going along with it, I'm surprised.
24.
I'm definitely
Can I get you out to 306 Williams Avenue in reference to the disturbance between a male and female? Please hold to, please.
I mean, I don't even mention their name, but I don't know. I don't know if
504.
their district.
What's the next name? 306 Williams.
I mean, I'm gonna have to ask for a public defender too, but I mean, public defenders are a little slow. I can.
420 is alright.
I'm gonna have to write some motions here, some motions to dismiss.
Can I verbally quote about Williams?
Nature of your office, illegal arrest.
Tempo.
I'm gonna have to ask the judge to dismiss.
Hearing Travis talk to himself in the back seat only adds to the unsettling nature of the situation. It becomes even more ominous when you realize these officers never even bothered to investigate Travis's case. They didn't take a moment to consider whether the librarian's concerns had any real basis. Instead, they treated Travis as the guilty party from the start, proving their focus was never on justice.
Walking around the library, suspicion. Did you get your witness statements from the librarians? I'd be interested to read that. That's not going to get you anywhere. There's no criminal complaint in there. You'll have to definitely see the security cams to see what suspicious nature came about. What shows up on the library security cams? What shows up on your body cams? Right. This is all just a matter of law, Fourth Amendment issue that needs to be dropped.
120
But you have to go through the procedure at least. Earn yourself a complaint. Pretty much, that's what you're doing. You're going through this procedure on a daily basis just to earn yourself a complaint. Just to earn yourself
Yeah.
possible.
After a long drive and half an hour of chatting among themselves, the officers finally remembered to check on Travis. He had been silent for a while, and they seemed to realize they should at least feign concern. One of the officers offered kind words, but as always, his actions painted a very different picture. It was clear that any show of care was just that, a show.
What you got? You okay? You okay? Yeah. I saw you like squirm like you were uncomfortable.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
It's hard on my heart. I'm not a young person like you.
Oh, thanks. I think that's the nicest thing you said to me today. $125 headquarters.
Morning.
1097 DC. I always like coming this way or taking like fairgrounds coming around.
Travis finally arrived at the jail. Not a single cop he encountered that day, and there were many, stopped to question whether they might have been wrong about him. The lack of reflection was as infuriating as the arrest itself. Travis was understandably disappointed. And who wouldn't be? Imagine going to the library peacefully, only to find yourself behind bars without even the courtesy of a real explanation.
We'll come back out and get his stuff. Where you at? Go ahead and hit that seatbelt buckle. This way. All right, buddy.
What do you think? Should officers Davis, Favors, and Miller face consequences for their actions that day? Did they cross the line, or do you believe they stayed within the bounds of the law? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And stay tuned, because the next case we'll cover will surprise you even more. Speaking of officers who couldn't resist overstepping, let's talk about one from the Lyon County, Nevada Sheriff's Department. During a slow third shift, he approached James, a random man, and unleashed a string of baseless accusations. Why? Well, maybe it was because of boredom, or perhaps a need to flex his authority. But here's the real question: what kind of officer turns a quiet night into a power trip at someone else's expense?
What's up, my man? Come here. Come here. Oh, shit. Yeah, no, put the bike down. Put the bike down.
Why? It's my bike.
Because I told you to put the bike down.
Why are you stopping me right now?
Because you're riding your bike with no fucking light on.
I'm riding it. I gotta
Put the bike
I got a
down.
light right here.
Dude,
My
put the
light was
bike
right
down.
here. I said, no. Fuck
Put
that.
the bike down, James.
Bike.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. I'm gonna fucking tase you, dude.
What have I
Get
done
on the
wrong?
ground, James.
What have I done wrong?
562 King. Get on the
What have I
ground.
done wrong? I've not done nothing wrong.
Get on the ground, James.
I've done nothing wrong. Am I being detained?
Get on the ground, James.
Detained.
Let
Am
me
I
add
being
a
detained?
subject stop.
Am I being
425
detained?
Willow, white male.
Help!
Get on the ground, James. You are being detained, you fucking idiot. Get on the ground.
I'm on the ground.
I'm gonna fucking tase you, dude. Get on the
Hey, I got a
ground.
light.
Put the flashlight down.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
It all started with a simple bicycle ride, but for James, it quickly spiraled into something far worse. Clearly fixated on his own narrative, the officer dismissed James' explanations, refusing to believe the bike was his. Yet this wasn't just an overreach, it was the first of several lines the officer would cross. What came next wasn't just a breach of trust, it was a blatant violation of the very policies he was sworn to uphold.
Put your hands behind your back.
For what?
Put your hands behind your
What
back.
am I being detained for?
For fucking not listening.
Why am I
Drop
being
that
detained?
flashlight.
That's not an
Drop
articulable-
that
That's
flashlight.
not an articulable reason that I committed the crime.
Yeah, it is. You
It
took
is
off.
not.
Yes, it
It
is.
is not.
Yeah, it is,
It
James.
is not.
You
Call
still
your
out.
supervisor.
You still
Call your supervisor.
relax.
No, I'm not relaxing. Call your supervisor. This fucking harassment's gonna stop.
Shut up.
Call your supervisor. I want you to call your supervisor.
I am the supervisor, dipshit. Shut
First
up.
Amendment audit.
Yeah, try the Fifth
First
Amendment.
Amendment.
Shut
First
up.
Amendment audit. You have no reason to stop me right now.
Yeah.
None.
You're riding your bike with no fucking
My
lights
hand
on.
Right there in my hand.
It's got to be on the
It's
fucking
on
bike,
the bike.
dipshit.
It was on the bike. I just took it off.
No, I just watched you right away
You didn't
when I
ride-
rolled up.
You didn't tell me to stop.
Desperation seeped into the officer's actions as he scrambled for a reason to justify his illegal stop. James wasn't detained, nor was he under arrest, but he calmly walked away, making any claim of resisting arrest utterly baseless. Yet, as is all too common, the officer faced no consequences. Instead, he spun his narrative, crafting a light-up hit on James. No law was broken, so he simply invented one.
There's no stop. I did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I told you to stop right
I did
here.
nothing wrong. You have no crime I committed.
562 King.
None.
Detained. 29 on last
Call your
aggression, first and
supervisor.
James.
Call your supervisor. I want to see your supervisor right now.
Shut up!
I
Yeah.
want your supervisor.
What'd you ditch over here?
I'd like your supervisor, sir.
Okay. Well, I think he's down at the jail.
I'd like your supervisor, sir. I need to speak to your supervisor now. This ain't happening.
Yeah.
I want
You still on court conditions, James?
I want you to know I'm not.
No.
I don't have any court conditions. None.
Huh?
None. Zero. I've not committed a crime.
All James asked for was the simplest thing: call the supervisor. But the officer, feigning deafness, ignored him entirely. By now, it's clear this officer only hears what suits him, discarding anything that challenges his authority. Yet, if you think this was the height of his unreasonable behavior, brace yourself, the worst was yet to come. And soon he would reveal just how far he was willing to go to assert his dominance.
You have no reason to stop.
Yeah,
me.
I did. When I told you to stop.
I'd like to stop your.
Yeah.
I stopped when you told
Yeah,
me.
if you're fucking arguing with me.
I'm gonna argue.
And I had
with
to pull my
you.
taser
You
out.
have no reason to stop me.
Yes, I do.
None. What?
Yeah.
Not committed a crime. No misdemeanor. No felony.
Yeah, James, it's called riding a bike without a
I
headlamp.
got a headlight right there.
It's not on the bike, James.
Your friend. Hey, I'm not on a bike. I'm in a parking lot, private property. What are you doing here?
You got any dope on you, James?
No, I don't. Now what? I want your supervisor.
Stand up.
I want your
Stand
supervisor.
up.
I'm gonna stand up. Where's your supervisor?
Face away. Put your feet apart. You got any weapons on you?
Well, I don't know. Maybe something. I don't know. I doubt it though. No,
Maybe something what?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I got a lot of shit in my pockets. I've been working on cars all day.
You got a knife on you?
I know this. I'm being detained for no reason. I want to talk to your supervisor.
The officer's confidence in his authority reached absurd heights when he declared himself the supervisor, as if that alone settled the matter. But when you think about it, even a supervisor has a supervisor, right? The logic crumbles upon scrutiny, yet it didn't matter to him. This wasn't about making sense, it was about shutting James down.
I want to see your supervisor.
What supervisor, James? You think
want
we're at
your
your fucking beck and
supervisor.
call, you
I
dipshit?
want- Yes.
No,
First Amendment
no.
audit right now.
Go.
Yeah. First Amendment audit. You have no reason to stop me right now. You're in violation of my First Amendment rights, and my Fifth, and my Fourth, and my Ninth.
Put your feet apart, James.
Yeah, sure.
Face the car.
Face the car. I want to see your supervisor.
I just fucking told you,
No.
dumbass.
Private property. I'm right here in my house. I live right there. At my house. At my house.
Good.
Last aggression person James with the date of birth is 5/29, issuing 1074 suspended.
Yeah. I'll talk to you. Hi to a friend when I left.
When the officer realized he had no grounds to arrest James, especially after learning James was standing in front of his own home when stopped for suspicious behavior, he knew he had to think fast. This time, he concocted a story about being in the middle of a crime investigation, but let's be honest, his so-called investigation was a flimsy excuse at best.
What's your date of birth, James? Yeah, you do. Yeah. You are the subject of investigation, yeah. For resisting right now.
What's my crime?
For resisting.
What's my crime?
Yes, resisting.
I'm not resisting.
Yeah.
Crime.
Yeah. I told you already. I already told.
I don't have to answer your questions.
Yeah, you do. Okay. You're going to jail. Yep, you're going to fucking jail,
For
dude.
what?
What's that for arguing? I'm asking you some basic information.
My name's James Gresham. You know my name.
I asked you what your date of birth was.
I don't have to answer your questions.
Yes, you do.
Well, I guess I do, huh?
Yes.
Because I'm being detained,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
5/2069. And this is an illegal stop.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Or your supervisor. I want to see your supervisor. Sir.
James, you know how many times
you have no right to. I'm on
you know how many
public property.
times you've been in the
This is
fucking
public property. I'm not nothing. I want to talk to your supervisor.
What this officer failed to realize was that James knew the law better than most, and that knowledge was his greatest weapon against corruption. James quickly recognized that the officer was trampling over his constitutional rights, an iconic betrayal given the oath this policeman once swore to protect. But as infuriating as this violation was, the story wasn't over.
Yeah, you're going, dude. I did about tase you. Is that your house?
It is.
Do you think that maybe if you just answer a couple quick questions, but when you're rolling up here and then coming back,
You told me to come back, so I came back.
yeah, and then I'm fucking telling you to drop the bike, you're not dropping the bike, and then you fucking push it, you're trying to tense up on me.
In my hand. I didn't do nothing on you.
Yes, you did.
That's why you were stopping me.
Yes,
I
you
saw
did.
you pull up here. That's why I turned around and come back.
All right.
I knew you were gonna come. How about that?
Yeah. Because when I roll up for this fucking
It had
bonfire,
nothing to do with me.
you were there.
I was just talking to them, asking
Yeah.
them what's up with the bonfire.
Oh.
And they were
okay.
barbecuing.
Imagine that.
Did you stop and ask
What-
about the fire?
I didn't. You took off. Look, where's this guy going?
I didn't have to stop for you. Just because you pull up don't mean I stop my life.
It didn't take long for backup to arrive, even though James was already in handcuffs and posed no threat. There is no jurisdiction for this show of force. James hadn't resisted, but was simply standing up for his rights. Yet, the officers chose to interpret his advocacy as defiance, a deliberate misunderstanding they'd cling to far, far longer than anyone should.
I have
It does
no
when there's a
reason to stop
crime being
me.
committed.
No, I didn't commit a crime. I committed no crime. What was my articulate reason for
I already told you.
to come here to stop me?
I already told you.
There is no crime. I'd like to talk to your supervisor, sir.
You don't have
Right now.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you can
You're gonna
want
want that.
one hand, shit the other.
my First Amendment auto right now. That's right.
I have it on body camera.
First Amendment
Yep.
auto. There's no articulable, reasonable suspicion to stop me. No, it's not. You should write this to stop me unreasonable.
The First Amendment.
Articulable, reasonable suspicion.
All right.
ARS.
Yeah, sit tight, dude.
Sit tight. Shut up.
ROS, dudes. Sit tight.
So they we're sitting over there across the
The arrival of backup wasn't about maintaining order. It was a masterclass in how corrupt officers close ranks. It's almost predictable, isn't it? They always cover for each other, no matter how blatant the misconduct. What followed was a quiet, calculated conversation among the officers, a coordinated effort to align their stories. The arresting officer was seeking allies to solidify his version of events, no matter how far from the truth it strayed.
at the sub, dude, and there's like huge flames coming out.
Yeah.
Thought the building was on fire.
Oh, shit.
Roll up, and then I'm like trying to ascertain what's going on. He rides off on the bike, and then, but it ends up being inside a barbecue, which I don't even know if that's legal.
Depends on how it is, yeah. Especially with right next to the house.
Yeah.
Coming up that.
So I ride up. He's pushing his bike up here, and then it just went downhill from here.
As it usually does.
Yeah.
I heard the yelling. I was like, I wonder who he's got.
Yeah. Now I'm debating whether to take him, dude, just for obstructing.
Yeah.
It's not really. So he's riding his bike without a light.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, well, is this private property? Like,
Was it through here? He did?
yeah. So it came from this side and went through here.
So it's probably Tracy Grant's wife, not his. Also, she's been bitching about it.
The officer knew James had done nothing wrong, and it was clear in his focus, along with equally complicit backup. It wasn't on justice, but on crafting a justification for the arrest. Every word mattered now, as the officer was keenly aware his body cam was recording. His mind raced, scrambling to weave a plausible story under the pressure of accountability.
Bitching about what?
Him taking the bike.
Really?
That's hers. She called us like a couple weeks, or maybe a few weeks ago now for it. Says that it always comes by, grabs it because it just sits outside there. He'll ride it and then bring it back and take it without asking and all that.
Yeah, is that your bike, James? Okay.
Is it like a mountain bike?
Yeah.
That's the one that she was complaining about.
The white one?
I don't know if it's white. I just know the mountain bike. I've seen one of BMX, but she was complaining about one that looked like a mountain bike.
Which apartment are you in? What? 18? So now I'm debating. Now I'm like, well, should I just take him for fucking obstructing?
When the officers realized their attempts to justify the arrest were falling flat, the arresting cop made a desperate move. He approached James again, hoping to coax out any statement that could be twisted against him. It was a feeble gamble, one that only highlighted their lack of legitimate case. And just like that, the situation took on a whole new level of absurdity.
Here.
You got a key to it?
Car's here. I don't have any keys at all.
Is the door unlocked? How are you gonna get in?
I didn't know she wasn't home until I got here. Actually, I came here and I went over to Jeff's house, over to Mama T's house, because she wasn't here. Then when you pulled up, I decided to come back home. I don't have to answer these questions, but I will. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't want no trouble, so I left. The fire wasn't mine.
All right. Well, when I'm rolling up and you're leaving, like,
Doesn't mean nothing.
sure it
I
does.
wasn't asked to stop.
What's that?
I wasn't asked to stop.
Because you fucking took off.
I wasn't asked to stop.
Yeah,
I did
that's why I
nothing
came
wrong.
over here and told you to
There's
stop.
no reason to stop me.
That's why I came over here and
There's
told you to
no
stop.
reason to stop me. What's your reason for stopping me?
Go for it.
What's your reason for coming over here? I'm on private property, man.
Yeah, well.
Just when it seemed like this cop couldn't stoop any lower, he found a way to prove otherwise. He hastily constructed a story that began to show cracks, a fragile facade crumbling under the weight of James' sharp intellect. It was a classic case of an intelligent suspect outsmarting corrupt cops, and the officer knew it. But James' cleverness came at a price. Bruising the egos of these power-hungry officers only fueled their anger, setting the stage for even greater misconduct.
Why did you come here?
What's that?
What is your articulable, reasonable suspicion?
Just told you, James.
Property, man.
Because.
What? What's because?
Flight from the cops.
A flight from who? I wasn't stopped.
I know, because you didn't give me a chance.
What were you going to stop me for?
See what's going on with this fire.
That has nothing to do with me.
Okay. How do I know that if you're leaving?
It's not my fire. It's not my house. I don't live there.
How do I know that when you take off?
People live there barbecuing, right? You would have found out.
Okay. Because they said they said they didn't know who you were.
That's what I'm telling you. They didn't know who you were. Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I didn't know who you were.
Oh yeah, I better walk over right now. And you will tell me Jeff and Timmy can tell you that I don't know who they are and they don't know who I am.
Now that I know who you are.
Huh?
Now that I know who you are, but I didn't know who you were.
What I'm saying is this: what was your reason for stopping me? What was your reason for coming here?
James remained calm, maintaining a level of respect for the officers that, frankly, they didn't deserve. Have you ever encountered power-hungry cops like this convinced they're above accountability? Share your experience in the comments. Meanwhile, let's dive back into the unnecessary interrogation of James and the blatant violation of his freedom.
Because you're trying to get away from me.
No, I didn't run from nobody. I went home.
And now,
I don't need to see no
and
cops.
maybe it would be more plausible if you did live there, but now we can't. Now we can't even verify that you live there.
Well, why don't we call Sharon then, Val?
Okay.
Why don't we call Sharon, the person who lives there?
Does Sharon live there?
Yeah, she sure does.
So how are you gonna get in there?
What do you mean?
How are you gonna get in the house?
Home. Usually she's home at night. I don't have to answer these questions. I'm not doing nothing wrong.
All right, don't answer the questions.
Listen, listen, Carl. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm on private property. You're harassing me. You're
not harassing you
right now. I'd like to see.
That doesn't change how we go about this.
I've had to study for my law for this work that I've been going through. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more versed in.
And how's that working out for you?
Well, you know, it's been 3 years of my due process being violated. I've been convicted of nothing.
So it's still going on.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Pissed off.
Hearing James' story for the second time only deepened the officers' frustration. Disappointed, doesn't even begin to describe their reaction when they realized there was nothing in his account to support their actions. For them, this could mean only one thing. It was time for another private huddle. A new chance to concoct a narrative, another desperate attempt to spin a story that might excuse their blatant overreach.
So I think she does live there.
Yeah.
Because that's when Ronnie, when I came here, Gabrielson, he OD'd, she was the one living here. There's only a deadbolt, and I don't know if that's locked or not. I didn't want to push on the door or anything, because the normal doorknob's missing. Where was he at when was he hiding? Was he in the grass or on the paved portion?
He's on the paved portion, like right by that yellow tarp thing. Looked like he's walking up there. So I was like, hey, where are you going?
But how's he gonna get in there? Like, if he doesn't want to answer that question, if he knows she's not home, how's he go there?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That makes sense.
Unless he's like in the 4th century, and I mean, I don't want to. I'm not gonna check the door. It's pushing that. But yeah. It's hard to tell on that one.
At first, I was like, yeah, you're riding a bike with no light.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
But I don't know about if he's right there,
I'm wondering if just leaving when I roll up for like a illegal fire.
Well, it's unsolicited flight.
Yeah.
And then we have to RAS to stop him to begin with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's unsolicited. It's not like you had your lights on and you did that. He just did it on his own. Just
took off on his own.
It's case law now. So.
By now, it's painfully obvious that these officers weren't interested in following the law or doing their job properly. Their prolonged discussion wasn't about justice, it was about a thinly veiled scramble to protect their egos. So when James finally asked a simple, reasonable question, they pounced, twisting his words into yet another excuse, this time labeling it as resisting the police. It was no longer about right and wrong, but about their fragile authority. And yet, unbelievably, the story doesn't end there.
Yeah. Isn't mere flight not enough?
Maybe like that, one more thing.
I'd say it's mere flight, plus I knew Tammy Tolbert and Jeff Abbott to be, drug users.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Quit interrupting, James. All right.
So yeah, I mean,
I'm inclined to take him with them bitching about all this.
Because there's that, and then you're talking about with that whole being, like kind of, you're talking about, like, I guess you're +1 or whatever that you're thinking about. they decided to come after you.
Huh?
There's 3 on. I told them no. I guess they changed their mind.
Oh.
He was gonna go all the way down there.
Oh.
Locals told him no. So,
We just had a staff meeting on it.
huh?
We just had a staff meeting on it.
I know. I don't think that would get.
Hasn't made it down there yet?
Yeah. But that's alright.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, that is a fucking high. I don't know. I definitely consider 475
Oh,
a crime.
yeah. As we've had Tommy Carroll hiding out there, wanted guy.
Considering James had requested to speak to the supervisor more than 20 times during this illegal arrest, the officer's desperation hit a new low. Believe it or not, he twisted James' persistent requests into a so-called reason to take him to jail. You have to admit, his creativity with lies was almost impressive. But here's the twist. Those very lies were about to backfire spectacularly, leaving him wishing he had just followed the law that day.
All right, James, you want a supervisor? There's one down at the jail. You're going to jail, dude.
For what?
Resisting.
Okay, I'm not.
Don't. What are you doing,
I thought
dude?
you-
Face the
I-
car.
okay,
I'm
fine.
putting your feet apart.
Go ahead. Miss me. I'll just take you to jail. Go ahead, take you to jail. Watch out. Don't lose my stuff. Go ahead.
Space more games.
I'm gonna shoot the ass out of you guys. Yeah, I know too. I didn't do nothing wrong.
You don't listen.
I do listen. I came right to you when you pulled up. You're the one who was running at me, not me at you, bud.
Yeah, 'cause you're trying to get away,
I'm
dude.
trying to get away. What are you talking? You're so shit. It's on your body cam.
It is.
You a racist?
Racing.
All right. Oh shit. Oh no. Almost.
Can you believe this cop's brilliant plan was to arrest James so he could talk to his supervisor, who just so happened to be at the jail at that time? Did he think anyone would be gullible enough to buy that story? At this point, the issue wasn't just about his desperate need to dominate. It was painfully clear his intelligence wasn't exactly his strong suit. He couldn't even manage his lie convincingly.
What do you got there? Rocks?
Yeah.
Wow.
You drop that down there with this. There you go.
This your jewelry?
Sure is. Mm-hmm. You remember it?
What?
The whole box was on the sheet of my car, remember?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Go on back here. We'll get it.
Okay. There you go. What's that?
Look. Duct tape.
Yeah.
All right, have a seat.
Snake. Made a mistake, bud.
If you thought the chaos would end once James finally was in a police car, think again. For officers like these, there's no such thing as enough when it comes to feeding their egos. This time, they took things even further, heading straight for the house James had been heading to. Without a warrant or any legal justification, they knocked on the door, proving once again that their disregard for the law knew no bounds.
We got a couple questions if you don't mind answering.
I will do my best.
Okay, do you know James Gresham?
I've seen him around.
Okay, does he live anywhere around here?
I don't think so.
Does he ever stay here?
He does visit this lady
Okay.
quite a bit.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you know anything about that duffel bag? Does that mean anything to you?
No.
Is that recording?
I'm not sure if that one is. I know hers is.
Okay, yeah, she's not home, but.
I can go ask. Let me go ask my boyfriend.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, please. It looks like it.
Haphazardly placed?
That's
or-
what I think.
Yeah.
In the end, James was charged and arrested for resisting the police. To this day, no one knows why they approached him in the first place, but their fleeting sense of authority didn't last. The video of their actions went viral, and instead of appearing dominant, these officers became the laughingstock of the internet. Hopefully, the public backlash will give them reason to think twice before repeating such a mistake. If you thought today's video was outrageous, just wait. There are even worse cops out there with stories just begging to be exposed. Stay tuned, because you won't believe what some officers are willing to do when they think no one's watching.